For your hired male and female servants, your hired men and strangers and all this stuff, right? For the beasts of the field. Now, here we go. He gets into more detail. This is the year of Jubilee. After 49 years, after 7 sets of Sabbaths, 7 sets of Sabbaths. Watch. You shall count 7 Sabbaths of what? 7 Sabbaths of years. So what is that? 7 times 7 or 49. All the Lord did with punishing them was go 70 because they missed 7 years. 70 years. So they missed 70 years. God simply multiplied 70 years now times 7. So everything is times 7. They missed 70 of them. So God punished them for 70 times. That's where it's coming from. That's where Daniel got it from. That's where Gabriel got it from. Everybody got it from here. It's not a mistake. Nobody made it up. It comes straight from the book. God gave it. 7 times, listen, God said to himself, what is it? It's 7 years. Look, 7 times 7 years. How many of those 7 years did they miss? 70 of them. They missed doing this 70 times. So what do? You multiply 7 times the number of times they missed the 7th year. So it's the 7th year that they missed. And they missed the 7th year of giving the land rest 70 times in a row. So now instead of being one time times 7 years or 49 years, they have to pay for the entire number of times that they miss doing it. God said it was 70. So that's where the number comes from. Nobody just randomly pulled that out of the air. It came from the book. And the time of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be for you. Look, God tells you himself 49 years. And if they went 70 years, you just add a 0 to that. It's 490 years. Then you shall cause the trumpet to blow. Now, when will the trumpet blow for Israel? When the Lord comes back. To sound on the 10th day of the 7th month on the Day of Atonement. Now, let me quickly go here. And it's the 50th day, folks, that you get liberty after the punishment of sin throughout all the land and to all the inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee. For who? The Lord? No, the Sabbath is for the Lord. Jubilee, freedom, liberty is for you and for me. The liberty isn't for God. God is already free. Liberty is for you. All your debts are paid. What debt? The sin debt for your idolatry. Okay. Now, there you have it. Now let's go to the chart. So here's the chart, friend. Let's go blow this up. All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the 70 years and the weeks and all the stuff that God had given the Jews. And you clearly seen it over in the scriptures that I took you to. So how did this play out? So Daniel went and Daniel started talking about the 70 weeks. And then he gave an explanation on what's going to happen and how is it broken down. Daniel starts talking about 7 weeks, and then he starts talking about 62 weeks. Certain events were going to happen during those times. Let's go look at it. What did Daniel say? Now that you understand the 7 weeks, now you can read the rest of Daniel and have an understanding of what's going on. You see, if you didn't know this before reading this, folks, you're going to come up with all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't know how. This is why people get confused because they get to 70 weeks and they have no clue what it means. So, you know what they do? They just make it up. Whatever 70 weeks mean to me, that's what 70 weeks is. No, no. Who cares how and what it means to you? What did God say? What did God mean to Daniel? So he goes on. He goes, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem. Who did that? That's in the book of Ezra. There's a command given to rebuild Jerusalem. And then there's a second command given. So it's two parts. So first, you got a command that came when Ezra took the people back. But the one that really marks it is the one given to Nehemiah. So this one right here with Ezra had to do with the rebuilding of the temple. This is with Zerubbabel and Joshua. And Haggai was the prophet. Okay? So Zerubbabel, Joshua being the high priest, Zerubbabel being of the royal line, Ezra and a small group of Jews goes back and they rebuild the temple. But then they get tired because they face an adversary and they stop. God raises up Haggai to chastise them for that. Then God sends Nehemiah. What do Nehemiah do? He rebuilds the walls around the city. And then Nehemiah and Ezra come together. By the way, Ezra is the one who started the scribes. He's the one God used to preserve the written word. He also is the founder of the synagogues. God used him to do that. All right. So Nehemiah, even though people overlook these two books, without those two friends, we're not where we are. Those two books are extremely important. You ought to spend time reading it. They're very, very important because without that, this prophecy is useless. Useless. One of these commands came from Xerxes, and the other one came from Cyrus. So you had Xerxes, and I think I'm spelling this right, Rxes. And this one here came from Cyrus. Remember the Persian. Isaiah wrote about Cyrus, and God says Cyrus was his man that he was going to use to go back and rebuild his temple. So Cyrus the Persian sent Ezra back, and Xerxes the Persian sent Nehemiah back. But this is the one that the prophecy is actually focused on. But this one had to happen to fulfill the prophecy in Isaiah. Now, to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. Now notice, it's to restore and build what? The temple? No, Jerusalem. That's why you can be certain that it's Nehemiah being talked about here if you want to be very, very pinpoint exact, and not necessarily Ezra. But without the temple, it's useless to build the walls around Jerusalem. So God had them build the temple first, restore the sacrifices, get that right. Then God can build up a hedge of protection around you. He will not build up a hedge of protection around you if you are worshiping idols. And by the way, you know about only 70,000 Jews went back to Jerusalem to serve the living God. You know how many of them was in captivity? Millions. Millions. They enjoyed Babylon that much that they literally refused to go back. They had no use for the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's always been a very small remnant from Israel, friends, that are saved.